Hey guys, it's Loida Velasquez here. I'm with Bryan Casella. If you guys have been following me on YouTube, you'll remember that on my first video I mentioned how I recently did a transition from the advertising industry into real estate. And I also mentioned that a very close friend of mine was also a reason that I became very interested, because I have known him before even real estate was a thought in his mind, and I have seen his success these past couple years and all the hard work that he's put in into making himself known and succeeding. So I'm going to be asking him a couple of questions today to hopefully help you guys if you guys are interested in getting into real estate, or perhaps you're new in the industry and have a couple questions. Hopefully he can answer some of these. These are going to be questions that you've probably thought about, they've probably come across your mind. So with that being said, Bryan, thanks for your time in interviewing with me today.
Thanks for having me.
And just for those of you who don't know you, can you give us real quick summary of what you did before and how long you've been in the business?
Okay. Bryan Casella, everybody calls me BC. I've been in the business for a little under 2 years now. My background was in basketball. I played high school, college, professional. I've never done sales. I came into this completely blind, I guess you can say, but the main advantage I had was anytime I tried something new in my life, I always did it 100%. So when I looked at real estate, coming from basketball, I saw a big opportunity. So it was a no-brainer for me. I met with a broker who originally was my basketball coach when I was younger, and it just made sense. You know, I saw the opportunity and I figured, hey, I can get in this business and work hard and make a lot of money, and that's what I'm doing.
Awesome. So when you first started, what were some of the things that you did that as a new agent you feel helped you get an edge over other agents that were starting at that time?
Okay. Good question. What I did was, as soon as I started doing the courses and studying to take my test to get my license, I was already shadowing other good agents. I was already going to the trainings that we had.
Yeah.
I was basically doing everything an agent who was in the business was doing, but I didn't have my license yet, just to get a step ahead of the competition. That's just the kind of person that I am. So I did whatever I could to get ahead. And I started studying all the scripts and dialogues. I would write questions and go to these top agents and say, what do I need to do to be successful? What does your typical day look like? Can I follow you around for a day to see what you do? And you know, the day in the life of somebody who's actually producing and making money. And I just went above and beyond what the average person would do. Most people will study, get their license, and then start. I started, then studied, then got my license. So by the time I even got my license, I already felt like I was an agent, and I was, 10 million steps ahead of my competition.
Awesome. So now I see more and more people are getting their licenses. Obviously, everyone comes into real estate thinking that they're going to make millions of dollars, but a lot of them fail to do so. What do you think are some of the things that they think that perhaps they don't do that they should be doing in order to reach that level and that success?
Well, I think a lot of people get it misconstrued because they think you can get in the business, and just because you have a license, you're going to have deals fall into your lap. One of the biggest myths you need that I'll bust is you actually need skills. This is a sales business, and people forget that. You're going to be talking to a lot of people every day. That's going to be a necessity, and you have to be able to lead a conversation to where someone is meeting with you and you have an appointment, and then you either get a listing contract signed or you put a buyer in escrow. It's very simple, but at the end of the day, we think it's all, oh, hey, you have a license? Here, let me sell my house. It's not like that, especially now with so many more people getting their license. A lot of people have a friend or a relative who they say, well, I'll use him because he just got his license and I want him to do some business. You need to have the ability to influence people and lead them to make a decision to either act buying or selling a home, and number two, more importantly, actually do it with you as their agent. So the skills portion, I think, is something that people don't really pay attention to. Studying scripts and dialogues, learning how to communicate effectively, being a people person, basically. And number two is the work aspect. As prospecting is the main foundation of my business. At least 3, 4, 5 hours a day, I'm on the phone or I'm on the doors looking for people who want to do business. And I think a lot of new people coming in forget that you have to do that, or they look for the magic bullet, which is the social media, the online marketing and all that. but they forget that you have to go back to the old school, which is talk to people.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, and that's really what's given me the advantage of those two things: communication and just, you know, talking to people, communicating, prospecting, and those are the two things that I think if most people would do, work on their communication skills and actually prospect every day, they would be 10 times more successful than anyone else.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just like you and I, everyone knows people that perhaps going into real estate, family, friends have told them, you know what, why are you going into this? You're not going to succeed. You should get a real job.
Right.
What were some of the things that you told yourself in your mind that made you want to continue and perhaps just prove them wrong? Outside of the real estate, studying your scripts and all of that, just aside from that, to personally develop yourself as a better person.
Well, I always had that chip on my shoulder even when I was younger. You know, I made it pretty far in basketball, and I was always told that I never would. So I always had that kind of competitive edge to me. But the main thing was, as an individual, I saw the opportunity in real estate. So I said, hey, if I can stick this out, and, you know, even if it takes me a while to get started and get rhythm going, it's really going to provide me a life that I've always wanted. So, you know, as an individual, you need to, if you set your sights on a goal, which is to get in real estate and do well, you're going to receive a tremendous amount of resistance, and you're going to be thrown a lot of obstacles in your way. And what separates the, you know, 5 to 10% that make it versus the other people is, are you able to persevere in those moments? I had no support from my family. I had no support from my friends. Everybody told me I was going to fail. Just like in basketball, same thing happened in real estate. So, you know, I looked at both the same and said, hey, if I could make it this far in basketball, I can do the same thing with real estate. It's just going to come down to me and how hard I'm willing to work, and am I willing to pay the price. So the question I have for everybody viewing is, what are you willing to go through to be successful in real estate? If you're able to take the emotional up and downs when you start, if you're willing to pay the price and, you know, be in the sun knocking on doors, spend hours on the phone, you know, spend a couple hours a day working on your dialogues, reading, doing self-improvement. If you're willing to do those things, then the end result will be success. The question is are you willing to pay the price, and are you actually willing to commit? Just like Bryan Tracy says, he is a big-time speaker, and he's a multimillionaire. So he says any successful person has to be willing to pay the price up front and in full. So if you're willing to do that, you'll do great.
Awesome. So what are your future plans? I know that right now, well, what were your sales like last year? How did you do last year that you want to improve and continue to do this year, and perhaps 5-10 years from now? Where do you see your business going?
Well, I see my business exploding. In 5 to 10 years, I definitely will be opening up my own brokerage. My sales last year were 34 transactions, which anybody watching knows. The average agent's doing like 2 a year. And that was my first full year. I mean, I started in end of July of 2013, so 2014 was my first like full calendar year in the business. But it just comes down to working hard. But 5 to 10 years from now, I definitely see myself being in the millions for commission and opening up my own brokerage. That's the main thing. And I've specifically made a plan, and that would be another tip I give to everybody watching. Set goals and plans specifically for 1 week, a month, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, because then you have something definite and measured to go after. And when you do that, it makes your day-to-day tasks a lot easier, because you know what you have to do exactly each day to hit your goal.
Yeah. So currently, I know people can watch you every other Friday. You're involved in a hangout, correct? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That's a mastermind I have with some other agents. One guy's Colton Lindsay. He's in Utah. He's doing probably, I think, 70 or 80 deals a year, if not more. Another guy, AJ, he lives in North Carolina. He's also a newer agent like me. He's been in the business, I think, 2 or 3 years, and he's doing, I want to say, 50, 60 deals a year. So they're doing really well. And it's basically a mastermind that we do publicly every other week, including every week privately. We just mastermind on things that are mindset and everything that has to do with the business. We know that on the surface, you know, what you do, the prospecting and all the stuff that's working in your business is important, but we know at the end of the day, it's all mindset, it's all personal development, and that's really what takes you to the next level is what's going on the inside. And that's what we do. We make it public just to help people, and we had a lot of requests to kind of make it public, so that's something that we do. So if you're willing to tune in, my YouTube channel is connected to Loida's, so just check it out. and every other week we post it on Google Plus, and then you're able to just tune in and watch. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. So I'm going to be posting all of his social media platforms down below, so you guys can go ahead and follow him on Facebook, add him on Instagram. His YouTube channel is very informative. I suggest that you guys also go ahead and add him there. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that he's provided a lot of information that is going to be helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section or email us. We would be more than happy to help you out. We want to see everyone succeed here, just like Bryan is, and just like I am on my way as well. I wish that everyone goes and takes all of this information and puts it into action out in whatever city you're in, whatever market you're working. Just stay committed, stay dedicated, know your scripts, and just be pretty much on the lookout for anything and everything, and just know what you want and go after it. So until next time, that's it. Loida Velasquez, Bryan Casella. We'll see you guys.
The add-on is a value for the seller. What we want to do is up the risk for us and lower the risk for you. Does that make sense?
Oh, well,